I am
Oh,
always
wow.
surprised by the fierceness of this fan. Jesus.
It's
Every
always
time.
wild. It's always
It's always
violently loud.
Violent.
But you know, it's appropriate for this episode, which, by the way, hola, hola,
Indeed.
hola. And welcome to the Cup, the Currently
Indeed.
Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real in the tea in reality, and you can always come for us to quench your thirst. I am Eduardo, the Mexican representative of this podcast. I am here to talk shit and get hit. I am very excited to talk about this episode. I have a lot of compliments for a lot of the queens, and for some people that, I don't know, I feel a presence in the room. There might be here, who knows? But I am so excited to talk about it. So yeah.
Well, I'm David Healy, and I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute shirt. I decided not to wear a Dragula shirt this time, but it's still somebody who's a little creepy in their own way.
Oh.
I'm wearing my Cheddar Gorgeous shirt.
Oh,
I love
okay.
Cheddar Gorgeous.
Yes.
Lovely choices. Lovely
Yes,
choices.
thank you.
Nice.
And I, right now, I'm just drinking a zero sugar A&W root beer. It's one of the few zero sugar drinks that tastes just as good as the regular one. So if you're like, I need some zero sugar drinks, but they all taste bad, try that. It's really good.
Thank you for continually repping for the zero sugar soda regime, David. I do really appreciate that. I'm not repping for the Coke Zero Girly Brigade today personally, but thank you for joining our regime. I do appreciate
Of course.
it. Thank you. Hi, I'm Logan Murphy, the Algo Gay. I am currently drinking iced tea because I needed a little bit of caffeine today. That's all I've got, but as per usual, I've always got my cup mug on hand. Cute little situation. You can put whatever you want in here. I've got medications, and I think David still does as well.
Yeah.
We just use ours for our meds now, which is fun.
Once I get mine, I'm gonna do the same thing. Don't worry.
It has made its way to Mexico.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, Eduardo's is in Mexico. Rivers is in Brazil. So they're getting... But you can get your cup mug and all of our other cup merch at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link is in the description below, and we do ship domestically within North America and internationally, including to all parts of Mexico, so there are no excuses. Go get your merch. Thank you very much. And I agree with you, Eduardo. I feel a rotten presence in the room today.
There's a witch somewhere here.
Yeah, I wonder who that could be.
Huh.
Maybe it's me, Aradia von Rotten. How are you?
Yay.
Oh,
yeah.
Goddess of the Witches is finally here.
Oh my
And I'm
god.
excited. Or not. Because you bitches have talked shit about me.
Not
Yes.
me.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, I do. I have, and I will again. What about it?
But like me too. I usually talk shit about me. So that's fine.
Oh, same.
If
I
you
can
can't
relate
talk
to
shit
that
about
part.
yourself, how in the hell can you talk shit about somebody else?
Exactly.
Can I get a Hail
There we go.
Satan? Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, at the top of this
Actually.
podcast, shout out to Satan Queen for the headset that Aradia is currently using.
Actually.
Because we spent an amount of time I would not like to discuss on air trying to get Aradia's audio set up. So Satan, you are my girl as always. Thank you, Queen. I
Yes.
appreciate you very much.
I love you, Satan. Thank you.
We love you,
Satan,
Satan.
come on the pod. I know, even if you don't speak English fluently, come on the pod. We want you, please. Thank you.
I'll speak to you in Spanish. Don't worry about it.
That's
I'll
fine.
do all the work.
That's fine. That's fine.
And we can have Aradia here to help us as well. So, like, if she wants, of course. If she doesn't, then
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
fuck my bag. But today we're going to be talking about episode, 6 of MorbiDrags. We're getting there. We're getting
over
to
halfway.
Oh my god. They said it in the episode. We're more than halfway through MorbiDrags. So I am so excited to talk about this episode. But before we do, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. All of our social media will be down in the description below, along with all of Aradia's social media. So make sure to follow her as well. But yeah, we'll talk about this episode now. But before we do that, we need to talk to Aradia, of course. So, Aradia, we need to know a
Hi.
little bit about you. Well, tell us how did you get into drag? How did this start? How tell us.
Yeah, I was in my mind. I was getting a little bit crazy, and in therapy, I discovered that I was a little girl when I was a kid. So I had like all this feminine energy that I didn't use. So I wanted to explore, and my only reference was RuPaul Drag Race. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, let's do drag. And I become more like just not a girl but a monster, and also like not a man anymore. But
Totally.
yeah, I think in discovering myself and my femininity, I just realized that I love doing drag, and I love that.
I love
So
that.
That's
that's me.
wonderful.
I
Nice.
love that.
I am curious though how you came up with your name, and is this a common name? Because it's crazy that we have two Aradias on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Not confusing
not
at
a
all.
common name. I know. It's not a common name at all. Like, there's a story of the goddess of the witches, and the name is Aradia, and there's like the gospel of the witches, and they talk about Aradia. So I came with this name, but like the name I think is from Italy, and for some reason there's like one show, I guess, and like just the gospel, and like Aradia Morbi as well, as far as I know, she got to this same book, and
Mm.
Oh,
I don't know. And I think there's only three Aradias, and two of them, including me and Aradia Morbi, are drag queens, and the other one is a performer, but like I don't know what type of performer this person does, but like as far as I know,
okay.
we're only three people.
Okay, interesting. Love
Okay.
that.
That's
It
wild.
is
That
it is wild to me that there were you and Aladdin Morbi on the same season. I was like, oh, because when we started the season, I was like, are they talking about you?
What?
Are they talking about Aladdin
Oh,
Morbi? I'm like, it,
uh,
huh?
it is
Okay.
confusing.
It's very confusing.
yeah.
The first,
Even
I mean, you heard us talking about it the first couple of the episodes, and even still,
Uh,
I'm like, who is who?
who is?
Who are we talking
yeah.
about? Like,
Like when
um,
Aradia gave you the pin and it was like Aradia gives Aradia a pin. I was like, what's going on here? We lost the plot.
I love the exception, Jesus. But knowing that a lot of your original drag inspiration comes from Drag Race, I do want to know who are some of
Uh-huh.
your Drag Race inspirations as far as like favorite queens and things like that.
Damn, it's a hard one because I
Yeah.
don't think it's like a lot of them anymore. But I would say
Fair.
Alaska Thunderfuck is one of my fave ones. Violet Chachki, Aquaria, Charity Case from UK,
Ah,
um,
Yes.
yes. Yes, yes, yes.
and Dragula, of course. A lot of them. Let me think. I
I
think
was
I'm
gonna say
forgetting
Dragula
someone.
as well, please. Yes, we love Dragula. So yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. A lot. Um, yeah, I think I'm missing someone, but
Mm.
yeah, I'm from Dragula. I would say Vanderpump Odd. Um, Abora is my favorite because I think she's as conceptual as me,
Right.
kind of.
Absolutely.
Very witchy.
And who else? Who else? Oh, Eva Destruction.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
Ah,
yes.
Good taste.
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
Taste.
see a lot of I see those three like the inspiration. I
Uh-huh.
see little bits of all of them in you and what you've presented and the kind of in your witchy kind of character creation. I definitely do see that.
Uh-huh.
I love
Thank you.
that. I love that. And I will
Yeah.
say all of the characters that you've presented and kind of your presentation style as far as what we've seen so far in MorbiDrags has been
Uh-huh.
very unique. Like for me, you have been one of the most unique Morbids we've seen,
Mhm.
and that
Oh.
everything has been like a lot. And this is no shade to anybody else who's watching from this season, but I'm going to be a little shady here, and y'all know I am,
Oh.
and I love you all. But for
It also
me,
is me.
What else is new? I love you all, but I'm a little shady. But for me, Aradia, you have such a very specific point of view that I just absolutely love. And everything is so distinctly unique and different, and nothing feels derivative. Whether it is or not, nothing feels derivative. Um nothing feels like it is a direct copy of anything I've seen before. And whether it's polished and perfect and, anything like that, that's beyond the point. And, we all know it's, there are times when it's not, darling. But beyond that, and I love you dearly and you know that, but everything is so high concept. And I love that you brought up Abora, because she has those similar qualities where it's not always the most polished, it's not always the most perfect, but her concepts and her her concept from start to finish is fleshed out, and it's so high concept, and that's what you give. And I absolutely have loved everything you've given, including this week, and we'll talk about your look this week. I love it. It's so good. But everything you've given has been so high concept, and I've loved seeing your lens of drag on this season so far, and it's been so remarkable to see. And I really appreciate your perspective on drag.
Thank you so much, and I love that you like my perspective.
Of course, absolutely.
We all do. We really do. I do too, personally. I do have a question as well now. So I have a question about how, when you decided to audition for MorbiDrags, and how you decided to do it, and what was like the process of getting ready for that. Like, tell us a little bit about how that process went, because I'm very curious about it.
Well, at first, to be honest, I wasn't thinking on auditioning, but I knew about this other Aradia, which Aradia Morbi, and I was like curious about it, and I was like stalking her. I actually comment something because like um in a moment I comment like, hey, this is a cool cosplay from me or something. Yeah, but it was kind of like a joke, and I also post something like how this bitch can name herself as me, but it was like just cocky drama. But then I started like I also like posted that it was just a joke, right? But
Yeah.
the more I was engaging and looking stuff from MorbiDrags, I was like, this looks cool, and
Right.
also like in the stalking process, I saw like they knew a few people that is known in Mexico in another shows like La Más Draga and stuff, and I was like, I guess this is gonna be like a really good project. And also like I was living in Mexico and I moved to LA 5 years ago. So I feel like I needed that extra or that something in Mexico because I was like nobody know me in Mexico. Like
Yeah.
I did a national competition online, but I feel like nothing happened after that. And I was like, no, I need to do something else in Mexico. So that's why I auditioned and also I asked a few friends. I was like, should I? And they were like, yes, bitch, do it. And I'm here.
I love it.
Yay!
I love it.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
thank God.
Love
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
I love that I auditioned.
Me too. I do have a question though. So I feel like a lot of this cast can be kind of grouped into morbids that are very crafty and resourceful and make a lot of their looks, and then we have a bunch of other morbids that you can tell that they've paid a lot for some really quality looks. So I'm curious
Uh-huh.
what your expectation was going into the show, and what you
Uh-huh.
thought the other queens would have quality wise.
Like to be honest, I didn't thought about the other queens
Mm-hmm.
when I was going to the show. I did stalk them, and I was like, yeah, probably this is
Right.
like a designer queen that is gonna send everything to someone. Also, when I was on my process, I realized that I knew just like a few designers, and the work of these designers didn't match the ideas I had. So that was kind of like the situation I had. Also, like the ones I knew in USA, probably like my budget wasn't gonna be enough if I
Yeah.
buy stuff with them, and like the ones I know in Mexico were like more for fishy queens or pretty
Yeah.
queens. So I was like, this is gonna be hard. So that's why I choose
Yeah.
to like make most of my stuff. Time is a bitch. Things could be done better. Also, like choices, right? I choose to do some stuff, and like I could do dresses, I could do other stuff, but I was like, no, I want to do a monster. I want to be monster the whole season.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but the pretty ones, right? The last
Yeah.
episode was the only exception. But like a few stuff that I made, I didn't knew how to make them. So I was like watching tutorials and like stuff, and that took me forever.
Yeah.
A few wrong choices that I made with like stuff that I use a lot of my time, and
Mhm.
I didn't even use those stuff.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, things happened, and like I'm happy with the result. And coming back with the questions, I think sometimes choosing a designer is kind of like a hard choice because you never know what's gonna happen, what dress is gonna give you.
Mhm.
Like what happened with Sativa in this episode, that
Mhm.
Mhm.
she paid for a dress and she never get the dress. She
Yeah.
still haven't got that dress yet in these
Hopefully, she
days.
got her money back.
She
I don't
better
know.
have.
I
Did
think they're
she?
gonna send. I think they're gonna send two outfits, as far as I know. Like they're gonna send the outfit she
Oh.
paid, and they're gonna give an extra outfit.
Mm.
But
Hmm.
I guess until she really got them, we will know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna and I've had to make this PSA several
Uh-huh.
many times on this podcast, several many times throughout the last couple of years. Designers,
Uh-huh.
if drag queens are paying you for competition reality drag programs, make the fucking garments. Period.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
also, girls,
Period.
don't be afraid to check up on your designers and to be a bitch and to be like, hey, where's my outfit? Where's my outfit? You haven't sent me anything. I need the outfit now. Don't be afraid because you're
Uh-huh.
paying for a service. And so you
Yeah.
should be
Yeah.
getting that service.
Yeah.
So if a
Uh-huh.
Anyone who is going on a drag program, be it, I don't know, well, season 18 of Drag Race is currently filming, so whatever. But like season 7 of season 7 of Dragula, MorbiDrags season
Uh-huh.
2, any future
Season 7 of Lamas.
season 7 of
This
Lamas.
is, I think
You
it's
know,
already filmed.
Oh,
it's already filmed. Season 8 of
Uh,
Lamas.
yeah.
Whatever
cool.
whatever it may be. Y'all, check up on your designers, and designers fucking make the garments for these queens because A,
mhm.
you're gonna get paid. B,
Yeah.
you're going to get international recognition for this. That's almost more important than the immediate money you're going to get. You
Mhm.
are an idiot if you don't do it. I
Yeah.
rest my case. With that being said, I want to get back to
I,
what
I,
I'm
I
doing. Oh
wanna
yeah. Oh yes,
I,
yes,
I
Eduardo.
wanna add something. Like if you're a designer and you have a bunch of work, just say no. I don't have time for another
Mhm.
dress if you don't have the time for it. Because like
Exactly.
you just don't affect your job, you are affecting another person who is actually paying you, and it's not fair. And also like for the drag queens, I would add like don't give them the last day of recording. I usually tell them that I need the outfit like 2 weeks before. If I have a month before, because like we know things
Yeah,
happen, and like usually
absolutely.
delays and stuff. And like that's a good way to know how this person works. And like if there's a delay, probably like next time give them more time or
Absolutely.
change the designer.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I do love that you did make a lot of your looks because specifically, Aradia, you have given me one of my favorite moments on this podcast this season.
Oh.
Mama, there's a sheep behind you. Mama, there's a sheep behind
Mama,
you.
there's a sheep
Have you
behind
seen that?
you.
Have you seen that moment of ours?
No, when? Or maybe I do, but I
Okay.
don't remember.
Okay, I'm gonna put it on social media after this podcast is done, and
Okay.
I will obviously tag you. I haven't done it yet. It was episode 1. Your episode 1 look.
I love
And
that. It was so underrated, by the way. That is the
so underrated.
Like,
So underrated. But all I kept saying in that episode was, Mama, there's a sheep behind you. And I can't stop saying it. I can't stop. So if for nothing else, thank you for providing me with constant laughter throughout this whole season. Because I just cannot stop saying, Mama, there's a sheep behind you.
Yeah, every time someone has a train or something, Logan says, Mama, there's
Last
a sheep
week with
behind
Lucy,
you.
I was like, Mama, there's a
Dystopia.
silver sheep behind you.
God.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And the actual moment is one of the dumbest things I've ever said on this podcast. But it's so good because it's you and the popcorn, and it's so dumb, and the entire situation is so dumb in the best possible way, and it's just it's so brilliant and perfect. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you for appreciating it.
I don't think I scored it all that well at the time, but upon reflection, I have grown to really love that look. So if you go back and watch, I don't think I gave it a great score at the time, but I do love that look now. And it will always have sentimental quality in my heart. So just know that now.
So thank you very much.
If you had the Valentina, so...
Oh no, it's always the Valentina. Always the...
Yes.
I have since, I will say, I did buy a new bottle of Valentina hot sauce, and I am no longer storing it in my fridge. It's not in the fridge anymore. It is not in the fridge. I have it on my spice rack above my oven.
As it should be.
So it's out. It's not in the cabinet. It's out. It is out of my fridge. I've been told. I've learned, and I have changed my ways. So
good.
Word.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, if we don't have any more questions, I think it's time to move on to the actual episode of MorbiDrags.
I think we should, yeah.
Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so we start the episode with, of course, Kovac and Aradia giving us their video message. And what I loved about this is that Kovac asked the girls, how are you feeling? Wait, actually, I don't care. I was living. I loved it. But yeah, we really move on really quickly into the MorbiTask, which is to create a character, and we will be doing this in groups. We'll be creating like a little monster. And yeah, we'll be doing this in groups, and we'll be pulling names out of the chalice to see the leaders of each groups. And Aradia, were you one of these leaders?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I was one of the leaders. I think I was the first one. I mean, the last one, but the first one to pick.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's right. So I do want to ask you, what was your thought process behind picking the people that you wanted in your group?
Well, Androhina is one of my friends from the season, so I was like, "Bitch, come with me." And the last pick, it was between Sativa and Luxi, and Luxi. But also, I was like,
I love that y'all are so shady. I love it so much. Y'all are shady bitches. I love y'all.
I'm so sorry. It's just the way you said that.
Oh, y'all are so shady. I love y'all so much. Y'all are great.
Yeah, it's very shady.
God.
And I hate that bitch.
Oh,
But
Oh,
I was like, the judges usually love her,
mhm.
and there was Sativa, and Sativa is kind of like shy, so I didn't have any connection with her. So I was like choosing between two people that I don't have connection with, but one of them is a favorite one from the
Mhm.
judges. So I was like, I should be smart right now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, unfortunately for you, the girl that you did not pick ended up winning this mini challenge. So
Choices.
maybe you shouldn't have picked her. You should have
Now,
picked her, girl. Who
which
knows?
one was it that won? Like which
It
creature?
was
Describe it.
the little alien with the umbilical cord.
Okay, that was a good one.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
were all good.
So yeah, they were all good. I was
Uh-huh.
shocked by how good they were all were. I actually, in my opinion, your team should have won that idea.
It's the one with the
My
eyes on top,
Same.
right? Or
My
no?
team,
Wait, which one was yours? The
my team
little.
is the little teddy bear with like claws
Mhm.
and
That's right.
teeth.
That's right.
It was
Yeah,
They were
like
all
pink,
good.
kind of.
they were all
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
good, but for me, it was shocking to see the amount of work that y'all did in such a short amount of time. And like
Uh-huh.
it still looked very dark and very
Yeah.
scary, and I really appreciated it. And everyone else, like it was good, but the amount of work that y'all did, I was like, they should
Yeah.
win, and then y'all didn't, and I was a little disappointed. But you know
Uh-huh.
what?
And
That's
actually,
I
fine.
we made two puppets,
oh.
Really?
Two
two bears.
monsters.
Like
Oh yeah.
if you watch the show, I'm holding one red thing that looks like the zombie I made. So, but it was
Oh.
like red, like a dick kind of vibe. So we actually made two of them, but we just
So you made
showed
a
the best
zombie
one.
dick.
It was like a Elmo zombie monster.
Dick.
Wonderful.
Elmo
Uh,
Elmo zombie monster dick. Great.
Uh-huh.
you know what?
That is your legacy, Aradia. That is now
Yeah,
your legacy.
and you know what? I would anyway. So let's move on.
I do love that the host also was like, it doesn't matter what the quality is or whether the materials were good. The girls did it. Let's see what they did. Like, that's what I love the most about
Ah,
MorbiDrags. They're just like, yeah, we know the quality isn't that great. Yes, we know the
Uh,
resources aren't perfect. Let's see what happened. Like,
I love
oh,
Alex.
it's so meta
Alex
in
is
the best
great.
way. Like, I
Alex is
do just
great.
I love that the whole show is just like, yeah, we know the production budget is not on the level of like La Mas Draga or Dragula or Drag Race. Like, we got it. We understand. It's a season one. But we're still
Uh-huh.
we're gonna act like we're these big shows. We're gonna give you the
Uh-huh.
quality of it, and we're gonna sell it like it is. And y'all do.
Uh-huh.
And y'all
Absolutely.
do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And might I add, editors,
Uh-huh.
production team, y'all, I'm gonna give y'all your pens again. Y'all are doing your damn
What?
thing. I see y'all. Y'all are doing your damn
Oh.
thing.
Mhm.
I
Good
see
job.
y'all. Keep it up. I see y'all. I see y'all.
Yes.
But yes,
Yeah.
it is Miley, Sandovalissima, and Sativa that win. The bottom three of
Maldita.
this week. But we'll talk about that later.
Nope.
Oh, wait, you're
Ah!
right.
Crazy.
Wait,
That's
So
wait.
maybe it
true.
was better that you didn't win,
Wait,
Aradia.
who does this
Yeah,
help for the draft?
That's
Not
true.
me.
You have two of them?
I have one of them.
We each have one then.
oh, Slay.
So
Well,
it's a
then
Yeah.
one.
that doesn't help anybody.
Yay. Okay. Well, okay. Right after that, we go into the dark room and we're going to talk about some sensitive subjects. So, everyone, a little
Uh-huh.
bit
Yes.
of a trigger warning here. We will be talking
Yes.
about some sort of abuse here and there and some sort of situations with poverty as well. So, if you are sensitive to
Mhm.
that, uh, make sure to click off now. We will have another episode for you in the future, but for now,
Well,
that's what we will be talking about.
There will be the next timestamp to the judges segment, so the
Yes,
timestamps will
that
all be
also
down
true.
below in the description and on the bar on YouTube and in the audio wherever you're listening to, if you're listening to the audio. So if
Yes.
you want to skip ahead from the dark room segment, go ahead and just skip ahead to the next segment.
Yes.
So
Yes. Take care of yourselves, please.
yeah.
So, we let's start with Miley, because that's what we start with in the episode. So Miley talked about her like weird relationship that she has with Christmas, and that for her it's always felt a little bit surreal and like not in a good way. Like
Mhm.
since she grew up not with a lot of money and like with no, that was Androgyna. But
Mhm.
because like
Mhm.
the idea of Santa like felt a little manipulative
Mm-hmm.
to
Uh-huh.
make children act a certain way, she kind of doesn't like Christmas as much, and she's gonna be basing her look today on Christmas and on Santa, which I think is a really interesting subject to talk about because I
Mhm.
really hadn't thought about it about like how parents do use Santa Claus as a little bit of manipulation to have their children act a certain way. And for me, Christmas is a very joyous occasion, but it's also very interesting to see those other opinions of people that don't like Christmas and why they don't. And so I found
Yeah.
this conversation very interesting.
Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
thought it was interesting that somebody was like, "Oh, it's like Jesus." Like Jesus, people use Jesus as manipulation too, and I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
There is kind of a
Yeah.
parallel between like
Yeah.
Yes.
Christmas and Santa and Jesus and religion
Yeah.
and all. And I guess that's why it's
Uh-huh.
so intertwined. So
Yeah. I
Hmm.
mean,
Uh-huh.
yeah, my parents used to tell me that Jesus and Santa worked together. So
Oh. Is that like a Mexican folklore kind of situation, or is that
I
just
don't
your
think
family?
so. I think it was just my family too, like
Oh, okay.
because they were,
Okay.
they're Catholic, and then they're
they're
like,
in a mob
Yeah.
hey,
together.
I'm
Uh-huh.
sure.
no,
Okay.
no, they were telling me like, oh, since Jesus always knows what you're doing, he tells Santa whether you've been acting good or bad,
Mhm.
and then
Okay.
Santa gives you the presents or
And
doesn't.
Santa tells Jesus if you're sleeping or if you're awake.
Yes,
Mhm.
Okay. I
They
guess
share information.
if I'm leaning into the lore of both of those being true, I see the logic.
yeah,
If
Uh-huh.
but
I'm seeing it, I see it. I feel like I fall a little bit more in line with where Androgyna is in this conversation.
Mhm.
I've never been the world's like hugest fan of Christmas.
mhm,
And I don't typically do a whole lot for Christmas as an adult. Like I'm also not just I'm just not like the world's biggest fan of holidays. Like I'll do the ones that like require food because I like having a big
Mhm.
meal and having like friends and family
mhm.
around, but also like I'm a big bitch. I like food. Like that's where I'm at with this. So any excuse to have food, like that's where like my shirt today is literally thick boy. So like that's where I look at it from. But I look at it as a time of like bringing together the people that I have in like my chosen family, and that's the way that I
Mhm.
look at holidays now. Not necessarily because I had an inherently negative experience as a kid with like familial ties to Christmas and things like that, because I didn't. I would say overall it was kind of net neutral, but it's just because I don't have a super close relationship with my parents anymore. And I would rather spend my holidays now with my chosen family, or honestly by myself sleeping, because
Right.
now on holidays it's like my roommate goes out of town to go see his family, and I love that for him. And it's honestly some of the only time where I'm like, I don't have to deal with anyone bothering me with work. I don't have to worry about, everyone is off doing their own thing. I can get stoned and sleep and relax.
I was gonna say,
And
I
that's
bet your grinder is going crazy on the holidays.
Oh, baby, it does. And that's honestly how I would prefer to spend my holidays, is getting stoned and sleeping.
Word.
And
Like
getting dick.
that's and getting dick. Yeah. No, honestly, that is my preferred sleeping is the preferred way, and then Grinder comes second when
Uh-huh.
I am awake and doing my things. But like that is honestly how I
Yeah.
would prefer to spend my holidays, like chosen family beforehand and then relaxing, because I don't get a whole lot of time to relax otherwise. So I did kind of relate to Androgina in that way, where it's like I don't have those connections to Christmas in the way that other people do, so I relate to that in that way, and I had a lot of sympathy for her in that
Mhm.
case.
Yeah, I think for some people in Mexico, like probably for me, could be like some mix between what happened with Maeli and what happened with Androgina, because in a way, my family didn't have a lot of money, so like usually Christmas was like something cheap, let's say. I don't critique. I know they were doing the best, but as a kid, you see it in this way, like you being a kid for the whole year, a good kid, and you're doing your best, and then you've been told that you're gonna be judged by God or by Santa, and like
Mhm.
this judgment is gonna give you a reward. And like if you were a good kid and you got this that is not what you wanted, it's gonna be like, oh, this is my value. And that's kind of like fucked up. But also I don't blame parents because like economy is horrible. So now
Yeah.
that I'm a grown up, it's like I understand this, but like as a kid it's kind of like hard living
Yeah.
this kind of situation. And like you just walk to your friend's house and they have like all the things they ask and even more, and you know that neighbor wasn't a good kid the whole year, so it's like, what am I doing wrong? Kind of like
Mhm.
hard situation, I feel.
Generational trauma is great, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yay! Yay! And we're
Yay.
gonna
The
talk about more
best.
thematic stuff. Yay!
Let's
And
do
Yay!
it, Eduardo.
see,
Yeah, because
my parents never told me that Santa was real. They never let me believe that because they didn't want
Oh,
to lie to me.
oh,
I love
But
that for
Nice.
you.
they also like
Yeah.
knew to tell me like don't ruin this for other kids. So like I never
well, that's
ruined it.
good.
Like I always knew.
Cute.
It was like
Okay.
okay, those other people believe it. Like for me, it was hard to grasp the concept of believing in Santa Claus.
Mhm.
Mm.
Even like when Ambrose was talking about being a like only child and having imaginary
Mhm.
friends, I'm like I cannot fathom having an imaginary friend. Like
Mhm.
I never had anything close to that. I cannot
Mhm.
Yeah.
like even like my imagination would not allow that. I don't think.
Yeah,
David,
yeah,
so many things about you make so much sense now.
yeah,
Now that I've found out that
You know?
one thing about you, I'm not even
yeah,
kidding. So many
Wow.
things
yeah,
about you make so much sense.
yeah. And we'll get to it once we start talking about Ambrose,
Like
because
everything kind sorry, Eduardo. Like everything kind of just
because
I'm like, no, that makes
Yeah.
complete sense. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Good.
Like
yeah. And I was gonna say I do.
in just the way that we interact too, I'm like,
Mhm.
no, that makes complete sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry,
And
Eduardo,
I
go
do
ahead.
have something similar to say about it, but we will get to it once we start talking about Ambrose, because it's when Ambrose started talking that this gets
Yeah.
brought up. Which, let's first talk about Androgyna, because we kind of talked about it a little bit, but we didn't really give it a lot of like
Hmm.
context to the people. So Androgyna talked about how she was raised with not a lot of money, and so while the other kids were getting a lot of presents, she wasn't getting anything. And we also talk about a little bit of the abuse in Mexican households, and that it's something that people don't really talk about, because like family is such a huge thing here in Mexico. I think, Aradia, you can kind of agree to that.
Yeah.
And so it's such an important thing that you don't want to kind of sully that and sully the name of the family. And so everyone really keeps quiet about it,
Mm.
which is
Uh,
kind of super fucked up. Which
uh-huh.
in my own personal experience, I can tell you that it is a very real thing when people are not when people are abusing something from you, whether it's emotional or physically, and you go to your family to tell them, hey, someone in my family, or like, hey, someone close to our family is not treating me right. They tell you normally like, oh, it's okay, or like, don't worry about it, it'll pass, or like, don't talk about it. Normally, it's never a conversation of like, let's do something so that this doesn't happen anymore, or let's do something so that you are safe. It's normally,
Uh-huh.
at least in my experience, it's a conversation of like, don't worry about it, it will pass. You just have to live with it until it passes, which is, I think,
Uh-huh.
an unfortunate thing that happens, and it might happen somewhere else, but that is my personal experience. And so I really like connected to what Androgina was saying in this conversation about abuse and the idea of not talking about it to not sully the name of the family.
Yeah, and also like usually because it's usually a loved one, the one who's making stuff. So usually it's like, no, you're lying, and they're protecting that person who
Hmm.
made something. So it's kind of like really fucked up because like we should trust the people who's like we should trust the victim, right? And like here and do something and just stop whatever is happening or make an investigation or something, but it's like no, because it's like a loved one. I won't say anything about this, and
Yeah.
not cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, we need to talk about more traumatic stuff because Ambrose also tells us his whole very depressing life story about how their dad was never home and that they also grew up with no money to the point where like they couldn't even buy milk, and that one Christmas they celebrated by getting milk, and that was like a huge thing, which is shocking to me as someone that is, I will say, very privileged to have some money and to have a family that is able to afford a lot of stuff. It's very interesting to hear this point of view of people that grew up with not a lot of money and that Christmas was just, hey, I'm gonna get us some milk and that's gonna be how we celebrate. It's really striking to me and really interesting and really important for me to hear as well.
Hmm.
And I think it's something that really needs to be said. And Ambrose also tells us that their grandmother passed away on New Year's Eve, which is also screwed up, and that the holidays have always been traumatic to her, and that she also suffered some sexual abuse, unfortunately, by someone in her family, and that it's very normal in Mexico for parents to like tell their children to not talk about it, and that's why Ambrose kind of talked to like their imaginary friends to kind of deal with a lot of stuff, and because they were an only child going through all of this stuff, which, as I said, I think is a really interesting conversation, and I think it's really important to have this conversation as well. So, do we have any thoughts on what we're talking about here today?
I am just very glad that all of the girls spoke up about this so publicly in the way that they did, especially this being a Mexican drag program where, as we've seen on other drag programs, some some drag artists may not be as forward about wanting to talk about these things like that. I'm very glad that everyone was so open and willing to talk about it. Um, I hope all these girls can find some peace with these situations. If they haven't already, I really do hope that speaking about it is helping them process through these situations. Um, as someone that's dealt with sexual harassment stuff, not nearly to the extent that any of these queens have, myself, but as someone who has, I know that talking it out and being able to verbally process things like that has helped me. So I hope that if nothing else, that this experience has helped them, and I appreciate all of them for being so vulnerable and open about it. So
Mhm.
props to all of you, and I
Mhm.
appreciate all of them for being so open about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I think these kind of stories really humanize people in a way that, like, when you see them as two-dimensional characters on the TV screen and it's mostly just about their drag, or even fights that you see people getting in, um, it's hard to like fully empathize with them on a human level. So I think especially with Ambrose in this episode, I think this was very important to really show that humanity, and it really, like, it made my heart connect with Ambrose in a way that it hasn't quite this season. And I just find myself like I was already rooting for Ambrose to be able to step up the game and get past the challenge that the Trinity gave her. But this made me really, really root for her. So yeah, I'm just very grateful that she was willing to be so open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
as someone,
oh
yeah, go ahead, Darren.
I was gonna say, here's when the conversation. I was gonna bring this back. I also never had an imaginary friend. I just was gonna bring it up. I never had one because I have a little thing called not amnesia. I was gonna say amnesia. No, this thing that where you can't imagine stuff. What is it called?
Aphasia.
Aphasia. I have aphasia, and so I can't imagine anything. Like visually, nothing comes
Picture
to
an
mind.
apple.
I can't. There's nothing there. It's just black. So I never had an imaginary friend. So if that makes sense, and if that makes anything click in here, well, congratulations, you figured me out. That's all I wanted to say because I was bringing it back up.
Yeah, I also never had an imaginary friend. I feel like I was always a creative kid. So every time I could imagine an imaginary friend, I was like trying to make a draw or like something creative. So instead, I was making art. So I feel like that was kind of like imaginary friend, and I'm playing with that right now with my drag because usually things that I made when I was younger is things that I'm doing in my drag right now.
That's awesome.
I love that.
Oh,
I love that.
yeah.
And I just wanted to add, as someone who's been hard on Ambrose this season, I do agree with you, David. I really, really, the more that I'm learning about Ambrose as well, I'm just like, the more that I'm just absolutely loving the person that I'm learning more about with Ambrose. And I just, love Ambrose. Love Ambrose.
Love.
But
well, it's time to cut off this conversation very suddenly and to talk about makeup, because Victor Villalobos comes into the dark room to give the girls some advice about their makeup. Aradia, what was this like? What was like these like talks with Victor like? What did they show you?
Well, they show us mostly to make contouring and to change the face. But like in a way, I was like, they complain about my makeup and like Miley Quinn is a makeup artist. Why are you making the makeup of her instead of me?
Right. Of all people. Of all people. It's like you're gonna go to the pretty girl and do a contouring tutorial for the pretty girl.
Pretty girl.
Come on now.
I think my favorite part of the episode, when he was done, he's like, "Okay, now clap."
Clap for me.
I'm like, okay, sure, great.
Well,
and then it lasts all of 5 seconds, and they were like, MorbiDrags. So I'm like, okay, great. Lasted almost as long as the Bootyful sponsorship on episode 1. Great, cool.
I think the Bootyful sponsorship was longer. I'm gonna
I think the Bootyful sponsorship was longer, actually.
Shout out to Bootyful. Thank you for giving us the show.
Shout out to Bootyful.
Shout out to Bootyful.
Oh my gosh. Well.
Okay. We get to the runway. It's time to get to the Morbi ball. Everybody. And what the fuck is Rico wearing? What the fuck is this?
I
It's very Mo hard-coded.
But like, hello? What were these pants? These pants were wild.
I mean, we could just take them off of him. That'd be fine.
I would not complain.
I agree. I
mean, Rico could come out naked, and I would like Valentina. She could come out there in a diaper, and I'd be like, "You're gorgeous, you're beautiful."
No, we don't need the diaper either.
Yeah,
and actually, Miras was like, "You're too dressed today."
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Just
I'm like, why doesn't Rico come out dressed as a sicker sometime? That would be great.
Honestly, yeah.
We would
just
all
like
like to
Rebeca,
see it, Rico.
Yeah, just like Rebecca said, there are too clothes. There's too much clothing,
There's too much
Oh,
clothes.
which
Just go
I'm
to his
so sorry,
Instagram.
Eduardo. I am hijacking your hosting.
yes, do it, because I was about to get to it.
Rebeca Debayle. That's the tweet. Rebeca Debayle. That's the motherfucking tweet. I love this woman who is not a woman. I love this mother who is not a mother, but is a mother.
She's not a woman?
No. That's a drag queen, baby.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's a drag queen, baby.
I-
Oh yeah, I followed her on Instagram.
Oh,
As
okay.
soon in the middle
Okay.
of the episode, I was like, let me go follow her immediately, and then I was like, oh, that's a man. And might I say, a very beautiful man.
Okay.
A very beautiful.
Whatever.
No, the moment I realized she was a drag queen was when I was like, oh, that's a fake nipple.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh, that's
I
true,
saw the
that's
fake
true.
nipple, and I was like, that's a breastplate.
And you can see the neck.
I was like, that is a
Yeah.
breastplate. But Rebeca Debayle, that's the tweet.
Yes.
Single best Inquisitor they have had, point blank, and the period.
She was fun.
Single
A lot
of
best one, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Single
Joe was
Aradia-
really good too.
I don't know.
Yeah, Joe was also really good. Well, I was actually gonna ask you, Aradia, what has been your opinion about the guest judges so far? Because over here in the podcast, we've had some mixed feelings about the judges so far.
As
But we
you've
like
heard.
Rebecca clearly. But so far, we've had some not great opinions about some of the guest judges. So, what was your experience like with having the guest judges there, and what did you feel about their opinions?
I think it was a hard part, especially for me, for some reason. I feel like when finally the judges from MorbiDrags were kind of okay with my look, it was always the guest judge, the one who said something different about my outfit. So it was like, fuck. I would say the one of the first episode and the one of the zombies episode were so far my favorites because I feel like they were subjective. But the other ones were I don't know. The second one wanted me to do something different, and it's like I can deliver that right now for you.
Oh, Omar,
Uh,
that piece of shit man? That one?
Yeah.
It was oh, I thought that was a woman.
That was
No, that was episode 3
okay.
that we also
Oh.
talked shit about.
Okay.
Yeah, the episode 3
She seems like a
destroyed
lovely
me.
woman doing lovely work for
just
lovely
didn't know where she
communities that need lovely work, but
Uh-huh.
she was on the wrong show.
Yeah, agree. I think probably I would say probably defending her, which I shouldn't. Probably what happened with C-Facto kind of moved her and I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Maybe, but no,
Well,
I mean, after seeing Dracula, I would expect someone breaking a glass on a show that's kind of normal to me, you know. But whatever.
Can we
And then
get into it? Can
yes,
we
fully.
for a moment? Can we? Because I was confused.
Yeah.
That whole situation with you, because I understand, given context now behind everything, and thank you to the other Morbids for giving us context, because we were confused that week. I get you breaking the glass was just the reason why they didn't give you critique, but I was also to your point exactly that you just talked about, other shows have done very similar things. So if it was a matter of, if it was just simply a matter of the Holy Trinity and the Conclave were too close and it was a danger situation, if that was the situation behind it, I would have understood them not giving you critique. I still don't love the fact that they didn't give you critique.
Yeah.
And I'm just I still don't, honestly, even getting the knowledge of why they didn't give you critique, I still don't love it personally.
Yeah, I don't like it.
yeah, I agree. I feel like what Maeli said in the feasting song, because as far as I know, you know already that the feasting song was before the
Mhm.
floor
Yes.
Right.
the Morbi ball.
Yep.
Um, she said that I did the whole outfit in the house, that I came with
Mhm.
nothing, which it was false. I had something. I was trying to like make it better because I knew it was my my worst outfit.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was. It
It was a
yes.
was.
great performance, though.
Great
Thank you.
performance. Not
Uh-huh.
a
Thank
not
Horrible
a
you.
great
look.
performance. Horrible look,
But
but
I
yes, a
feel
great performance.
but I feel like there's a few stuff. It was probably the way I envisioned this thing, like the makeup. I wasn't planning to do like the whole thing because I wanted to look more human, and the other part more like a shadow. So I feel like a shadow doesn't have like dimensions.
Mhm.
So that was kind of like the way I wanted to like just be playing the
Mhm.
black part. The other stuff, I get it. I was like trying to solve and have something in the stage because I
Mhm.
had nothing kind of. So I was like, I need to do something quick,
Mhm.
Yeah.
um, which I shouldn't. But like whatever time. Mm.
And that goes back
Um,
to what I was saying to you earlier. Concept. I loved your
uh,
concept. I absolutely loved your concept for that. It was so good, and that's why.
thank
That's
you.
why that was. I love you. All the praise I could give you on that because the concept was
Uh,
so good and it was so strong that like for you to come up with that probably in such short time, brilliant.
uh,
And
Mhm.
that's what
Yeah.
I love
thank
about your
you.
drag is that like your mind is so brilliant with those things even on such short notice with such little material. The
Uh,
concept is still so strong even if the execution isn't always the
it
way
was.
that you want it to be, and I love seeing that
Right.
because
Yeah.
polish is not always everything for me in drag. It's great,
Mhm.
but it's not always
Same,
everything.
Yeah.
same.
How many cuts
Uh,
did you have?
It was like three, I guess. But like
Okay.
to be honest,
Okay.
I was gonna cut my hand when I get the
Okay.
glass. I was really gonna cut it, but I was like, no way. This is the third episode. I'm probably gonna need this hand more. And like
Yeah.
I'm
performance
probably gonna
wise,
need
this
this
would
hand
be
more.
great.
Maybe just a little around the edge. Maybe just a little bit. Just a
Yeah.
little bit.
But like,
Maybe the
what if it
opposite
got
hand.
infected or something? I don't
Yeah.
know. So I was like, no,
Yeah.
I need to be smart right now and like don't do it. But like, I kind of regret not
Yeah.
cutting myself
Mm.
more.
Fair.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. I have a
But
question for you about this episode, though. How did you
uh-huh.
feel when Rebecca called you Longemoco? What was
uh,
that feeling like?
I was like, not again, Omar. Like,
I know.
uh, because I didn't actually feel it. I was like, this is more reference to Erika Clash. Like, if you see someone in my makeup, uh, it's not long hemoko, just probably because of the hair, but also it's like
Yeah.
you need to watch more drag. You need to
Okay.
watch Dragula.
So it was Erica. It was Erica inspired, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. I said that, and
Yeah.
I wrote it. I was like, "This is Erica
Prove
Clash,
it.
isn't
Show
it?"
us. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, I'm not going to do that. But I
What?
saw it. I was like, Erica. I'm glad I clocked
Uh-huh.
that. Okay,
Yeah.
work. No, I saw it. I was like, because Erica's one of my favorite Dracula monsters of all time. So
Same.
I was like, yes, okay, I love that. I
Uh,
absolutely love that. I love that. Work.
Well, I
Shout
I
out to
also would
Erica.
like to I also would like to know what was your inspiration behind your look for this episode and like how it came about because I will say it was one of my favorite looks of the episode. So I would really like to hear
Yeah.
what was the thought process behind it and how you made it
uh-huh.
because it was really, really good.
Well, I was thinking for this episode because I wanted to make it like I feel like kids in scary movies are kind of like creepy. So I was thinking on a kid and make it a little bit like scary but like cute because the idea was to be like one of these imaginary friends that looks cute but is actually like a demon behind him controlling him. So that's why I was like hiding, and then the demon comes out, and the reality is like it's not a kid, it's a demon. So that was.
Mama, there's a demon
Uh-huh.
behind you.
Mama, there's a
I'm
demon
sorry, I
behind
had to. I had to. I'm sorry. I had to do it. I had to do it.
It was great.
I had to
It
do
was
it.
the
I'm
perfect
sorry.
moment.
I'm sorry. I had to do
Mama,
it.
there's a demon
There's a
behind.
demon
That was
behind you.
so
Mama,
good.
there's a demon behind you.
Also, on another note, I need someone to do a compilation of Rico reacting to the judges' critiques because every time Rico
Oh
is
my god.
on, he doesn't have a poker face. He just absolutely does
No,
not. It's so funny
no.
to me. Rico, if you're watching, I love you. Also,
Oh,
call me.
because
Anyways,
the way Rebecca was like, Astra, just as a reminder, we don't say black, we say Afro-descendant. We don't say yellow, we say from
You
Asia,
say
and we say
Asia.
pure white. And Rico the entire time was just like, I loved every fucking moment of it. It was so good. Rico is the perfect host for this show.
oh
He
yeah.
is the perfect host for this show, and Rebecca is the perfect judge for this show because she's just
Oh,
stupid in the best way.
yes.
In the
That's true. That's
best
true.
way. Does she know the most about horror drag? No. But
No.
is she the perfect person to be judging this? Yes.
Yes.
I want her on every season of MorbiDrags from now on. I want
Oh,
her
please.
on every Mexican drag program from now on. I want her everywhere. I want
Yes.
her every single place. I love her. I love it.
I want to
It
see
was
her.
actually really fun to have her. I was laughing the whole time. So
Ugh, so
until
good.
she said "Long Moco."
Well, yeah, I got that. I got that for sure.
Yeah.
I think it would be really fun to see her interact with. I cannot remember their names, Burrito
Oh,
and
Burrita and
yeah,
Turbulencia.
Turbulente y burbuja.
yes. I think they
Turbulent.
would. I can imagine them having a fun dynamic together.
Oh,
That
that'd
was
be
fun.
fun. That'd be interesting, actually. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going with the judges' critiques. Luxie, Luxie gets
Loxy?
Luxie.
Who's
Oh,
Who
I
Loxy?
the
would
fuck is
love to have her in the
Luxie?
show instead of
Wait
Luxie.
a minute. Who the fuck is that? And hey, while we're on the topic of her, she did say in our comments last week that she was going to prove us wrong this week.
Mhm. She did.
Baby,
She
she
did.
did. Baby, she did.
But that
And
spoiler.
yeah, little spoiler because she does get 4 more delicious, which is the first time this has ever happened. So well done, Luxie.
Mhm.
Good
Mama,
job.
there's 4 more
Uh-oh.
deliciouses behind you.
Not this.
Not a Morbilicious from Aradia von Rotten.
Nope.
Okay,
Oh. Okay.
that's fine.
I would like. Actually,
Uh,
yes.
I can
I would like to
survive.
know. I would
Uh-huh.
like to know who was your more delicious of this episode, and you cannot say yourself.
I would say Satan Queen.
That's fair.
Like,
And
That's
is
like,
it just because you're using her headphones currently?
yes.
Great.
No, like the the moment she came out, like I know she had like troubles with the heels, but like it wasn't like she didn't know how to walk. It was like the heel broke in the moment she was
Yep.
walking.
Patos.
mm,
So
Los
so
zapatos.
yeah, and like as Rebecca said, she even that when that happened, she kept going with the show. So I feel like she did great, and the makeup was great. The outfit was tremendous. So that my Morbilicious is for her.
yeah, as it should be.
What about
Well,
everyone else on the panel?
Well,
Oh, in the pen.
there's a little someone, that may or may not be here right now, that may or may not have had my favorite look of the night. Who knows? I don't know. So my more malicious would go to a little someone called Aradia von Rotten. I don't know if you've heard her from her before.
Oh,
And it's not because you're here, darling.
yay!
I will say that. It's not because you're here. It's because you
Uh,
truly, like, you've been struggling the past few episodes. And honestly, I don't think you should because I've liked what
mhm,
you've given us so far. But this episode, you
thank
showed
you.
a lot of growth. And
Uh,
I really, really appreciate that. And I thought that your look was one of the best ones. It was a mix
thank
of the cute, like what I expected. It's what I wanted. Like
uh,
it's the mixer of the cuteness of like the imaginary friend and then that little
uh,
demon that came from the
yeah.
back, giving you that darkness. It gave me
Uh,
exactly what I wanted. And it was
word.
my more malicious. You did an amazing
Oh,
job. I loved your look.
thank you. Finally.
Yes. I
Yes!
I know we're not the conclave, so
I
it's
know.
not, as
Uh,
important, but
Can I
I
get
would have
I,
the?
I
given you
I
a
would
pen.
say I don't agree. It's not more important. Like in that moment, it was important, but like to
yeah.
me, the people around us, the people who's watching us, is more
Mhm.
important. So
That
I
makes
I really appreciate when you people like whatever I do, and it's even better like
Oh.
compared to the judges' opinion.
Oh, well, I'll take that. We'll take that.
Wonderful.
Well, I'm gonna
David.
do
Yeah.
two.
Okay.
Okay, for performance, I would definitely say Looksy. I just really liked how she sold it. Like it was so like
Mhm.
visceral, and you could see the other judges like, oh my gosh, you're going for it. So I was really into that. For a pure look itself, C-Facto gets my
I
more.
mean,
And who was it
yeah.
that said it's not really like a monster? I got monster from it. I don't know.
Was it
I believe
Rebecca?
it was no, it was an
No, it
It
was in
was
like
a
the
when
fisting
tag.
they were
zone. Who?
getting
Who?
ready.
No,
Or
somebody in the fisting zone picked C-Facto. Who was that?
I don't
I think it
know.
was Bailey, but it was like for being quiet and like
Oh, that's right.
being a
That's right.
part of everyone. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Satan
Fair.
said something about like her not being a monster.
That's probably what I'm thinking of then. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
probably what.
Dystopia said that she was giving more legend than imaginary monster.
Mm.
Oh, that's true.
That's fair. That's
Mhm.
fair.
I agree.
It still looked great. I disagree.
Ah!
Well, since David gave two, I am also going to give two because there were two people for me that gave exceptional performance, exceptional look, exceptional exceptionality, one could say. And one of them is currently sitting next to me in this podcast, and that is Aradia von Rotten. I
Yes.
just, for a lot of the same reasons that Eduardo gave, I'm so fucking proud of you this week, bitch. Like,
Thank you.
so fucking proud of you. You did the damn thing this week. I was so happy to
Yes.
see it. The performance was so killer, and that is something that I've been hoping to see from you improving week on week, and I'm seeing it here. And like
Uh-huh.
I'm seeing you
Yes.
taking in all of the things that we're not necessarily seeing from Conejo Blanco, but I know you all are learning. And like I loved hearing
Yes.
all of that last week from Dystopia as well. And like hearing what you all are learning from Conejo Blanco. So I can see that the performance is developing, and I saw it this week especially, and I loved seeing it. And the look was so good, and it was so creepy, and it was all just so put together, and the concept execution was all just so good.
They needed better lighting for you, though. There were two
They needed
people.
better lighting for everybody, but
No,
yes.
but there were two people that especially I was like, I can't see it. It's too dark. And it was you and C-Facto.
Oh.
Like Logan
Yeah, it
showed me
was.
the actual
Uh-huh.
pictures, and I'm like, they look so much better when you see lights on them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I do agree with that.
Yeah.
And the other person, I will say, is the person whose headphones you're wearing, and it is Satan. I mean, first and
We
foremost,
both are
that's my girl.
here.
But yes, I loved
Yeah.
what Satan did. I absolutely loved what Satan did. I think she knocked it out of the park. She's been, you know, and I believe it was Arcana that said, every single week you come out doing something different, but it's still always distinctly Satan. And that is what I have loved seeing from her as well. And I've said it so many times here as well, is like, everything is so distinctly Satan, but everything is so different within the Satan universe. It's almost like we're seeing like different elements of almost like a what am I trying to say? I'm a little stoned. Give me.
You got this. I believe in you. You should
You can do
work.
this, girl.
I'm going to. Like,
If Aradia and I could learn English, you can speak it.
God damn it. You're so right. It's like the different parts of like, fucking hell.
You got this, girl. I believe in you.
Nope, it's not coming to me. It's
Okay,
like
that's fine.
It's like the different parts of the Satan universe is where I'm getting at.
I see that.
It's like each of these creatures
Fragments?
in like the Zodiac. Zodiac, that's what it is. It's like they're all the different creatures in the Satan Zodiac almost.
Oh, word.
Because everything's been a different creature or a different concept. But like, and Zodiac is kind of the way that I want to look at Satan's like package on the show, because even last week, like Pretty Princess in Pink, like there was still this like Morbi touch to the way that she presented in that challenge that was that still felt like part of this like zodiac of characters that I just really, really love. So yeah, I would say both of you were my Morbidliciouses of the week.
Oh, yeah. Yay.
Yep. I would say
that
beyond,
took way too fucking long for me to figure out that goddamn word. Jesus Christ.
beyond the four people that we have named, I would give honorable mention to Dystopia, who was incredible, and Androgyna, who was incredible.
I agree. Which, speaking of Androgyna, we have to get to the judges' critiques and to all of the pins that are going to be given out. But Androgyna asked for something, which this was so funny to me, because they were like, Androgyna, you asked for something, and there's this scene of her praying, and then just a pizza comes out. One of the thinkers just brings out a pizza.
Relatable.
Like, she just, I get it.
It's like, people have asked for safety. You've made an offering to be, saved to Aradia. No. Androgyna's bitch ass asked for a fucking pizza. And you know what? I live, bitch.
Yeah.
I live.
Yes.
That's my kind of girl. That is my kind of girl. I love it.
Okay. Now, let's get to Midas. Yeah. Midas is going to touch one of the girls, but he will also give a pin to someone, because it's just such a hard competition that he just cannot choose, and he needs to give out a pin. So he decides to touch the one and only Luxy Lou. Congratulations.
That's elimination.
That's elimination vote. There you go.
That is also a banner that says Luxy Lou. So that's right.
There you go. Tocada de Midas. Congratulations, Luxy Lou. You get 5,000 pesos. And who gets a pin from Midas? It's Satan. Congratulations, Satan. You get a pin as well. Then Aradia. I was about to skip Aradia. Aradia gives a pin to C-Facto, and Kovac gives a pin to Dystopia, but Kovac also gives immunity to Gura and Lexi from the Fisting Zone next week. So
Lexi?
Luxy. I said Luxie.
I heard Lexi.
I said Luxie. If I said
was like,
Lexi,
I
I am so
Lexi.
sorry.
I was like, oh my god, is Lexi Love on MorbiDrags now?
Oh my god!
That would be great. I can change
Yay!
your Luxie for Lexi.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah. Luxie, change your name to Lexi, please, and thank you. Anyway,
Lexi Lou.
Can I?
Lexi Lou.
I want to interject. This is irrelevant to what happened on the show, but I just found out last week, and I'm sure everybody else is going to be like, "You didn't know that," but I did not know that Aradia and Aradia and Midas are an actual real life couple and have been for
Yeah.
years.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Lucky bitch.
The
Both of
more
them.
you know.
Yay. Anyway.
I'm like, I would in a heartbeat, no questions asked.
Yeah.
Whenever
I'd
they
subscribe to
wanted.
the OnlyFans.
Oh yeah, why don't they? That's the question.
Fully.
at hand.
Fully.
I don't
I
think
would
that-
ask majority of the girls why they don't have an OnlyFans.
I mean, I've
I
seen
don't know.
3 of this cast naked on Twitter.
I would like to see it. I would
And
like
one
to
of the
see
Trinity.
majority of these girls naked.
Where I think probably I'm the only one who has it, but like I usually don't use it. It's because nobody pays for it, so I'm like, I guess
Anadia
I'm gonna do
is
more
like,
time.
I'm just very demure, very mindful. You know, I don't do those kinds of things unless I'm asked to. It's fine.
I would pay money to see
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna be so
Oh.
honest. I would
Okay.
pay money to see it.
You're just
I'll
trying to
take
sleep
it.
with the
I'll
entire
take the
cast,
girls.
Eduardo.
Yes, I am. And what?
Okay, great. Damn, I
I'll
gotta get
sleep with
my
everyone.
passport and get down there. Shit. Okay, well.
Oh.
I'll sleep with anyone that asks me to sleep with them. I am a whore. Anyway.
I really thought you were gonna end that statement with "I'm gonna
I
sleep with
agree, I
anyone."
say.
Period.
Yeah, that's also true.
Same. Condemned.
Condemned, yes. Okay,
Oh.
so condemned by the Conclave, it is none other than Sandovalissima, unfortunately. Which is,
I was
to
a-
me,
I was a little very gagged.
I agree.
I was a little very gagged.
I
I'm
thought it
not
was going to
gonna
be
lie to you.
Ambrose. I'm not even going to lie. So,
I love you, Ambrose. I said
They
it
were
about 30 minutes ago. I love you, Ambrose. I was a little very gagged. It wasn't Ambrose.
They were very kind to Ambrose, though, so I figured.
yeah.
And
That's
I appreciated the
fair.
kindness to Ambrose. I did.
Mhm. And I do think if I was going off of who left an impression, who did I remember at the end of this? Sandovalissima was the one that kind of faded for me. So
That's
it
right.
makes
I do
sense
agree with that.
in that I don't think she left a strong impression with her look or performance.
I think that's fair. I think for me personally, I was a little surprised it was her only because I think looking at the looks static next to each other, I actually thought it would have been Miley or Ambrose over Sandovalissima personally.
Yeah.
Because I actually like
Yeah.
Sandovallissima's look as a static look on her, but I do agree with you, David. I do not remember a single thing Sandovalissima did in her performance. And I do remember what both Ambrose and Miley did in their performances a little bit more. So I guess but I will say as well, the Conclave was kind of all over the place with their two condemning votes. So I was a little bit like, oh, it might just come down to, 2 votes on who,
True.
it wasn't very succinct on who, the votes were going to be.
Have you realized? I think it only took until a couple episodes ago that I realized, they're not putting in 2 votes. They're naming their 2 nominations and then voting for only one of those 2.
Girl, have you not been watching the show? Hello?
David has not been watching with
I
English
haven't.
subtitles.
The last
It's
2 episodes I got to watch
language.
subtitles, but before
That's
that,
right. I forget that you watch
You
it
have to
on...
remember, darling. You have to
Yeah.
remember, darling. Yes.
I
But
forget
yeah,
that
that's-
y'all can't speak Spanish and
No.
that's just a me thing as well.
Y'all.
Well,
Don't
someone
lump me into
offered.
y'all.
I think we're pretty comparable on our Spanish levels.
I disagree wholeheartedly, but
I
that's
took 4 years of Spanish in school.
I've
And you
lived in
still know
Arizona for
nothing.
almost 28 years.
Yeah, and I live in places where people speak Spanish too.
I would not say our Spanish competency is
Mm.
at all comparable.
Mm.
Moving
Anyway,
forward,
Aradia, ¿cómo
let's go to the
estás?
fisting zone.
But
Yeah.
I would say I heard that someone was offering to like give us subtitles. I don't know.
I will. I will.
Do it.
If you like, I will do it for free, girl. This is not okay. Like my
MorbiDrags,
people.
we know y'all are watching. Hello.
Or
Come on
hire
now.
whoever's doing it for Lamas.
Right.
Yeah, or
We
hire
know
whoever's doing
we know
it for
who's
Lamas.
doing it for Lamas. We've talked to him.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's right.
I have, yeah.
That's right. You
Wow.
have.
Sweet guy,
But
love
yeah.
him. He's absolutely lovely.
But I'll
Or
do
hire
it.
Eduardo.
Like, I'll do it, girl. I'll do
Nice.
it. I'll do it for very cheap. For very cheap. Like,
I tell them. I actually offer myself, but like there's some info I can watch from the show because like there's spoilers and stuff. So
Mhm.
they were like, no, we want you to watch the show until it's airing. But
That
like
makes
I
sense.
did offer, I wanted it to have like subtitles. I will probably like if it's not happening, probably I will try to make it on the second season. But like uh, at least this is the part of why it's not having subtitles because
Mhm.
I can get
That's
to know
fair.
it.
yeah. Well, let's get to the fisting zone now, for real, for real.
Uh-huh.
And Aradia, I want to hear your thoughts because you got some votes here,
I
uh,
know.
which to me was a little wild. I'm gonna be so honest, and I felt a little angry
Uh-huh.
because like you don't deserve to get the votes because you did great this episode, anyways.
Thank you.
But
Uh-huh.
But
what?
it was a different. It was a different criteria though for the
Yeah,
vote.
it was a little bit of a different criteria. This time we were critiquing on who you don't really like vibe with in the house and who you're like
Uh-huh.
feels like disappears when you're
Uh-huh.
when you are talking to people in the house. So when you heard this, what was running through your mind? What were you thinking?
Like when I heard the question, it was kind of hard. Like every episode, this part it was like the hardest part of the episode. Not even the floor, the damn,
Floor show.
the Morbi ball.
Come on, floor show. Oh wait, it got brought up.
Even
Hold
even
up.
the girls,
Hold up.
even
Wait a minute. I gotta play the music.
Attention competitors. Attention competitors.
oh
The
my
floor
God.
show is about to begin.
Did you hear
No.
any of the audio that just happened on idea?
No.
Damn it!
Even I heard it. This time I did hear it. That's
Oh,
unfortunate.
we have a soundbite ready to go that is just the floor show
Oh.
music for Dragula, but
Oh.
specifically, it's the floor show music from season 5. So we have Fantasia
Uh-huh.
Royale Gaga screaming in the background.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Because she's my favorite Dragula contestant of all time. So,
As
Oh,
it should
wow.
be.
but yeah, sorry, go ahead, my love.
So it was hard because like you don't have time for think. And like the questions it was always different, so in this time it was like the most quiet, but like I feel like the most quiet was Sativa, but like some people didn't want it to vote for her because like it was an awful day for her, like it was the day she didn't get delivered the outfit and like she had to make it like last minute, so a lot of people didn't want it to vote for her, and like because of the last episodes, I was like super on my mind that I was like just focusing on my outfits that I didn't like speak with the other girls. So I kind of like understand those votes. Um, even though I was kind of like feeling attacked because like those bitches who voted for me are my friends.
Mm.
Those are my friends. So it was kind of like hard and also like because I was always so peaceful after like feasting something shit. people didn't thought that I was like getting so fucking crazy because I was like peace and like I'm okay with this, but I wasn't okay with that. I was living hell, but I wasn't showing. So I feel like they just thought that it was okay to vote for me because I was gonna be chill after that. And probably I was gonna be chill compared to the other ones. And I was used to it already.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been piled on a couple of times before in the fisting zone.
Unfairly.
I agree.
But you've
Um,
also been responsible for piling on other people unfairly.
That's
I've
also
noticed.
true. That's also true. We will call it out. That's also true. But
or I don't feel like it was unfair because like I didn't love that bitch and I wanted her gone from the competition.
Mhm.
But like I get your point.
Right.
It wasn't like she wasn't bad like outfits and shit. She has a great concept.
True.
Except for last week.
yeah. Ooh,
Uh, uh,
I said it
well,
last week. I told her last week, I was like, your look is bad. And she agreed. And then she said she wasn't going to be bad this week. And she wasn't. And I
Yeah.
said, okay. And she
there you
wasn't.
go.
I said, great, good.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, luckily for us, Aradia is not condemned by the fisting zone.
Yeah.
It ended up being, unfortunately for us, Sativa. Sativa is condemned by the fisting zone. I don't remember how many votes she got. I believe she got like 3 or 4. I didn't write it
Yeah, it
down.
was
3.
three.
It was a
So-
very, very close kind of all over the board vote.
Mhm.
Like a lot of people
Yeah.
kind of got,
Yeah.
I think like
Our
5 or
girl
6
right
people
here
got
almost went in because she got
Yeah.
2 votes, and I was like, "Girl, if Aradia goes in today, I'm gonna riot. I am gonna go to the Morbi house and burn it down because how dare they?"
But the
I
gag
was
of the season.
sweating.
But the gag of the
Huh?
season is Sativa doesn't even go in either.
Yeah,
No.
because Golek asks if she is fully loyal to him, like 100%, and she says yes.
Blind.
And so now she has to prove it by eating something without seeing what it is. And then they bring out the scorpion. And honestly, I'm going to be so honest, this would have been easy for me. I would have been like, yeah, give me that scorpion. I'm going to eat it.
Was it
Because,
dead?
Same.
yeah, it's dead.
Yeah.
But you also know, like, yeah, we eat grasshoppers. Like, we eat chapulines. So, like,
Yes,
They're
uh,
great.
I do love them.
yeah, they're
Yeah, I
great.
do.
They're so good. And so eating a scorpion for me doesn't sound like a
Like
huge
disgusting.
thing, like that
Uh,
disgusting. But I guess some people disagree.
Have y'all had them before?
I haven't had a scorpion before, but I
have.
wouldn't be opposed to.
Oh, how does it taste?
They're not bad. It's mostly
Was it in
just
a
shell.
sucker?
No.
No, I haven't had one of those before. No, it was just crunchy mostly. Because it's mostly just shell at that point. Because what they do is they just dry them out mostly. It's like a dehydration process basically. So it's mostly just shell. There's like a little bit of like inside, but it's really not that gross. At least in my experience, it wasn't that bad. But I also like chapulines, so like for me, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, so like that would have been one of the easier things for me. Now, if it was like a spider or something like that would have been a little bit weirder for me for sure. But yeah.
Well, Sativa eats the scorpion and therefore is saved by Kovac. And now the person with the second worst score will take Sativa's place as the condemned, which is unfortunately Maeli Fish, which means Sandovalissima and Maeli Fish will go against each other in the Vis-a-Vis, which this Vis-a-Vis is wild. This one was insane.
Now, I loved this Vis-a-Vis. Let me make that very clear.
Yes.
And I was like, thank you. This is giving me the Vis-a-Vis that I've been wanting.
Mhm.
But I'm not going to lie to you. I would have loved to see these two girls lip sync. I would have loved to see these two girls lip sync.
I mean, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
let the pretty
I don't
girls
know.
lip sync.
That's true. That's true.
Like,
Yes,
it would have been
actually.
so fun to see these two, like, because honestly, again, no shade to Sativa or Ambrose. I gave my thoughts on them last week, and so did Dystopia. And you can find out my thoughts on that and Dystopia's, because we did not hold back. But, and neither did the Holy Trinity, to be fair. But I think I love that we gave the pretty girls the most intense fucking Vis-a-Vis so far. I do love that. But I also think it would have been really fun to see these two girls perform. I would have loved to see it, honestly. I think it would have been really cute. But also, no, let's shock them in an electric chair. That's fun.
Yeah, that is, in fact, the Vis-a-Vis. The girls will be strapped to an electric chair. They will be asked questions. If they answer correctly, the electricity will be turned up on the opponent's chair. If you answer wrong, your chair will get turned up. First to quit loses and goes to the dungeon. And girl, even like these questions, I would have lost so hard.
Yeah, these are tough.
Like, because this is like lore of MorbiDrags, but I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know the lore.
Is there
I
a
don't
book
remember
that
the
you all
lore.
have to study or something? Like, where how would anybody know these things?
Yeah, we had at the beginning of the season, like before, I think it was around the first episode. We speak about the whole lore. We had like copies. We
Oh,
could
okay.
study, and they told us it was important for the show for us to know the whole thing. So yeah,
Oh, okay. Well then,
Okay.
that makes
we
That
sense.
makes
knew
more
we needed to
sense.
study.
Okay.
So what is
Well, then-
Rico the demon of?
Television,
Huh?
right?
That's what I thought they said. He's the demon of television. I love that.
Yeah. That Rico is the demon of television,
The
right?
demon of television.
Great.
I don't think so. I don't remember anymore.
Let me
I
turn
use
off
those
the
copies.
electricity.
Yes,
I
be
thought they
please.
said television.
I'm like, he could be the demon of something else.
Mm.
You know, that'd be
He could be
fine.
my demon.
He could be
I
my
wouldn't
demon.
complain.
I'd be fine with
Oh,
that.
But as I've said before,
The
I
demon
am a
of the
whore, so I will
faces.
sleep with everyone.
Same.
same.
But yeah, these girls didn't know their shit.
No, specifically Miley. Miley didn't know anything. She was in the dark.
I think it would be better if the winner would be chosen by the right answers,
Yep.
and now like the
I
one who
thought so
holds
too.
the more.
Yeah.
Because like I on my side it didn't make sense, but anyway, Miley lost. So,
And
Miley
she's
lost, so it didn't matter.
the way that
yeah.
Miley is just in this giant blonde wig. She looks like, for me, she looked like Twink Lady Bunny just getting electrocuted in this like. She's just like
Lady Bunny.
Lady
I
Lady
know.
Fish.
she is Lady
Yeah.
Fish here, and she was like,
I mean,
They made them
Yeah.
put their feet in the water. I was like,
That's
is
wild.
this safe?
yes.
I mean,
That's
it must have
technically-
been.
I think that's technically what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, if you're trying to kill somebody, that's
Well, yeah.
that's what you technically
The
do when
voltage
you
couldn't have been
execute
that
people
bad,
with electricity.
Well,
No,
Well-
they tried the whole safety situation before the challenges. I think the only one they didn't did before it was like the poop one.
Oh,
Makes sense.
Lord. I forgot about the poop.
I forgot about the dog
me
poop.
too.
I forgot about the poop.
I
pool.
forgot about the dog
I'm so
poop.
sorry. I'm so
Thanks
sorry.
for bringing it up,
I mean-
Aradia. I really appreciate it.
It must
Aradia.
have been
Thanks.
traumatic for you. Did that like stink for days? Like, was it stinky for days? Because in my mind, there's no way I am doing that stuff. Like, hello?
I I'm actually have like a really bad smell, but like
Oh.
the really punish was for me to sleep with Sativa because we
Oh, that's
were in
right.
the same room.
Because y'all
So
were
I
in the
was like,
same room.
yeah, I slept in the third episode, like after it finished in the dungeons, and it wasn't like that bad as sleeping as with Sativa last night.
No.
Look, that could be
The
taken out
dungeon
of
No.
was
context
great.
and like, oh, my punishment was sleeping with Sativa, like you're having sex.
Yeah,
Oh
so
no, not
instead of
having sex.
no, so instead of sleeping in the dungeon, my punishment from Kovac tonight was I had to sleep with Sativa. Even worse.
Uh,
God, horrible.
horrible.
Even though
But
I
Yeah.
wasn't in the bottom two.
even though I wasn't in the bottom, like that's just my punishment. But no, I was honestly, here's what I'm gonna say. I was proud of Miley. I was really proud of Miley.
Yeah.
Like, she did the damn thing there. She did the damn
Yeah.
thing.
She survived
they bo-
until the end, which is not what I
and
expected.
and I didn't blame her for tapping out when she did. I really don't blame her for tapping out when she
Mhm.
did.
Did she tap out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, because they were going to do the tiebreaker because no one technically lost.
Mm.
And then they were like, the tiebreaker is whoever taps out at like the highest,
First.
presumably like the highest voltage, whoever taps out. And before they did it, Miley was like, nope, I'm good, I'm out.
Yeah.
And I don't blame her. I really don't. I get it. So
Yeah, which
She
does
did
mean
like-
that
and
Miley goes to the dungeon and sleeps with the goat. Shout out to the
Yeah.
goat.
Lucia
And
Fernanda. But it was, I want to add, it was really fun to watch my Fish. Like every torture vis-a-vis we had, having my Fish in those things were like TV. I was laughing the whole time in this electrocution.
she
vis-a-vis.
is such
funny.
good entertainment in that way.
Yeah.
Like she gives me a lot of the energy of like Alyssa Edwards, where I don't think she realizes how funny she is.
wait, yeah.
And like in confessionals
that.
too, like the way she says things and the way that she reacts to things, it's like I don't know if she knows how funny she is, but she
I
is
think she knows.
very funny. I hope she does.
Yeah,
Because
I
she
think
is
she knows.
really, really funny. She's so funny.
Yeah.
And like you said, her reaction, the entire vis-a-vis here when she's getting electrocuted, I was also laughing so hard. And I felt bad, but I was like, girl, it was
Girl,
very
the
funny. I
wig
loved
getting
it.
on her face and like
The wig, the whole time. The wig was an additional character in this
Yeah.
vis-a-vis. It
Paid
was
actor.
so good. It was so good. Like,
It
I live
was.
for it.
Yeah,
I lived for it.
definitely.
but
Same.
that is the
Zero.
end of the episode, unfortunately, which does mean that our time with Aradia has come to a close. Oh no.
But first,
Well, we've got other things to talk about before we
Well,
leave.
yeah. That's right. I forgot about it. We have a draft update probably.
Well, let's
We
talk
have-
about the points before we do that, Eduardo.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that point.
You take 1 week off and you forget how to host. Damn.
No.
Yes, I am so sorry, girl. This has never been for me. Okay? Okay.
Oh,
The only reason he's hosting this one, Aradia, is because I'm not from Mexico. Anyway,
Yeah, fully.
in literally. So in the Sweet
Struggle
Imperial
bus.
this week, we have Luxie with 38 points, C-Facto with 36, Dystopia with 34. Good job, ladies, for this week. Sweet Infernal, Satan with 32 points, Sativa with 31 points, Goda with 30 points. Lovely, lovely, lovely. In Averno, Androhina with 30 points, Aradia somehow with 27 points. That should have been more points. I don't get it. I was disappointed. I was very upset for you. That seems very low. I don't like that, but that's fine, I guess. Whatever.
I mean, I get to show my point of view, and like
Yes.
I had fun,
Great.
and I was like, "Fuck you."
Great.
Yes.
In limbo is Ambrose with 27 points, and Sandovalissima, who did have the lowest score of the week with 23 points. And then in the dungeon is Miley, who had 26 points. So,
Okay.
that is where that was at. But yes, we do also have an update on our draft.
Yay!
We do. It's a very close race. Very close. Because there is a division of a half a point between Logan and Eduardo. But with 81.5 points, Logan is in third place. And with 82 points, Eduardo is in second place. And then with 95 points, David is in first place.
Fuck your drag, David. How dare you?
Thank you,
Come on,
Aradia. Thank you. Somebody's nice about me winning this draft.
Well,
Well, I'm not competing in here.
True.
So,
Fair.
well, yeah. Well,
But
you
also,
you are in my team,
so how do you
girl.
feel?
I
You're
was
in my
gonna
team,
say,
girl.
Okay, whatever. No, you.
yeah, exactly. I was gonna
I'm
say,
rooting for you.
there we go. There we go.
Okay.
I'm
Now
sorry for these low points.
Oh no.
it's fine,
It's my
girl.
fault.
It's fine.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault, truly.
Blame
Because you-
blame the Conclave and the Holy Trinity. That is who we
Yeah,
blame.
fully. Because we wouldn't have put you in the bottom several times, but that's just
Several times. Maybe
our
one.
opinion, you know? Maybe once or twice. But you know,
That one time, we all know what time. We don't need to talk about it.
Yeah.
yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyways, that unfortunately is it now for real. Now it is over. And that, as I was saying, unfortunately, is our time with Aradia. So thank you so much for being here with us. It's always a
No,
pleasure
thank you.
having people from the cast being here, and having you
Yeah.
here was a wonderful time. Thank you so much for the love that you show us and for all of like the time that you have given us. It's always a pleasure to have y'all here, and it's like so overwhelming to have y'all
Yay.
like such all of your love. So we love you so much. Thank you for
Yay.
being here.
I
And
love
thank you.
so much too.
Yes,
Te
yes.
amo.
Te amo.
Oh,
And
yeah,
thank you all
oh,
so
the
much for
double.
watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all of the things down in the description below. We will have all of our social medias, including all of Aradia's social media. So make sure to follow her everywhere. Yeah, tell us in the comments what your thoughts were. Did you agree with
Uh-huh.
our thoughts? Did you disagree? Did you think that Aradia should have won? She should have. Did you think she should have been in the bottom? She shouldn't have. Tell us our thoughts. Tell your thoughts in the description down below. Yeah,
In the
and with that
description.
being said, yeah, in the description,
In the comments.
in the comments. There you go. I just can't think today. My brain, like you said, Logan, I leave for 1 week and I just forget how to host. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see y'all later. Thank you so much. And with that being said, cheers.
Cheers.